So, hi, everyone. My name's Lewis, as May mentioned. So I am one of the program managers at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. And in particular, I manage student exchange administration for the Americas regions. With my team, we also have a student advisor who is sort of the main contact point for students. His name's Alex. He's unable to join today, but if you have any questions after this presentation, you can either contact the UCEAP office, or I can leave my contact and you can all contact me as well if you have additional questions about the Chinese University of Hong Kong. So moving forward, so I'm going to give a presentation on the university and also Hong Kong in general, so you have a better sense of what the university has to offer. So first, I'm going to talk about Hong Kong. See if I can, yes. So for those of you who are not too familiar about Hong Kong, which is kind of hard for the news that it's been receiving recently. So I'm just going to give a very broad overview of Hong Kong. So Hong Kong was a British colony for 155 years, and it was returned to China in 1997. It's one of the most densely populated places in the world. The words Hong Kong literally translates into fragrant harbor, because back in the very old days, it was a fishing village. And because of the scent of fish and preserved fish, it got the name Fragrant Harbor. It currently has about a population of 7 million people. And if you can see the photo, that's a photo across the Victoria Harbor at nighttime. And that's sort of the typical and iconic skyline of Hong Kong. The main difference between the US and probably Hong Kong is everything is vertical, everything up, everything is tall. The buildings, homes, apartments, where in the US most is more horizontal. So moving on. Okay, so Hong Kong has a very unique character in that because of its history of being a colonial, British colonial, and now, and also with the Chinese history and heritage, it's a mix of East meets West, where we preserve the Chinese traditions and also is now an international financial hub. Next. Hong Kong is probably most famous for its eating and its shopping. There are hundreds of Michelin star restaurants in Hong Kong, as well as very famous shopping malls and that you can buy from budget to luxury goods. But in addition to that, for most visitors who are here for just a few days, they wouldn't really know the other side of Hong Kong, which is our beautiful geographical scenery and landscape. In fact, 75% of the city is still undeveloped, and our parks, trails, beaches, and lakes. So as you can see in the photos here, there are tons of trails. When students come to Hong Kong, when they have about 3 months or even a year to explore Hong Kong, they actually see this side of Hong Kong being a lot more attractive than the busy city life. Next. Moving on to CUHK, here's a photo of our campus. The entire hill, we're on a hill, and this is the entire campus, the front side of the campus. There's still the back as well. And we are one of the 2 comprehensive research universities in Hong Kong. Very unique to Hong Kong is that we teach in both Chinese and English. So that means some of our courses are in Chinese, some of our courses are in English. And it's the second oldest university in Hong Kong. And our motto is to combine China and the West. Next. Now, where are we located? Here's a little map of Hong Kong. We are in the green part called the New Territories, which connects to mainland China. And then the red part is Kowloon City, which is right across from on one side of the Victoria Harbor. And the other side, the little island that looks kind of like a frog, is Hong Kong Island. And on the purple side is where the International Airport is, and also the Big Buddha, the largest sitting bronze Buddha. And right by the bridge is where the world's smallest Disneyland is. So for those of you coming into Hong Kong, you'll fly to the Hong Kong International Airport and then travel to CUHK. And because Hong Kong is so small, it is about 2/3 of the size of New York City. It only takes a taxi ride of about 30 minutes from the International Airport to CUHK. And moving on, another photo, a side photo of the campus. We're on a hill. The campus covers 137 hectares. It is the largest and the greenest campus in Hong Kong. We're right by the water, as you can see. So it's a very beautiful campus. Next. And also unique in Hong Kong is our college system. It's sort of like the Harvard and Yale system, where these 9 colleges form small communities within the larger university. So all students, all undergraduate students will be assigned, including exchange students, will be assigned to one of the 9 colleges where you will live. Each college will have their own sort of community and activities for their residents, so that students of the college will feel they have a closer niche of sort of peers that they can connect with, instead of just being one of 16,000 undergraduate students at CUHK. Academically, you'll be taking courses from across the 8 academic faculties, namely arts, business administration, education, engineering. Law is not available for exchange students. Medicine is not available for exchange students, except for a few of their public health courses. Then we also have science and social science faculties. Next. Campus life. Probably you will be spending most, if not half of your time at your dorm. Here are two photos of typical dorm setting. First, we have the room. Usually they are double occupancy rooms, and this is the typical layout. You have, your desk and your bookshelves, and then 2 beds, single size beds, and then at the sort of the end of the bed is where your closet is, and then the door. So it's not a huge room, but it's definitely suitable, and the facilities are comprehensive. Each room has an air conditioning as well. That's on a pay-per-use charge. And then the other photo is sort of the communal kitchen dining area on each floor. That's what it would look like. That's where students gather most of the times. They would do their cooking, and they would do their gathering, and they would probably share food and have some of the chattings there. Most of the dorms would have these common areas, plus the TV room. Some will have a gym, a small gym. All of them will have a pantry or kitchen, and then washing facilities for your laundry. Next. Oh, and I should also mention that the accommodation fee, the dorm fee, is very, very reasonable at CUHK. It's about $1,200 for the entire term or semester. So moving on, if the facilities on campus are very comprehensive, we also have a question just popped up, so I'll answer that right away. May I ask if all exchange students have to live in dorms? Dorms are on-campus dorms are guaranteed. Do you have to live on them? It is recommended, because where CUHK is located, it is because Hong Kong is small, it's not very far, but having to commute every day could be costly and inconvenient if some of your classes are not sort of every day or every hour. So we recommend students to live on campus because it's guaranteed and it's inexpensive. But you can request to live off campus if you wanted to, but it's quite expensive to live off campus and in Hong Kong in general. You're probably looking at least $1,500 for a studio apartment per month, whereas on campus it's $1,500 for the entire term. So coming back to the presentation, we have a clinic on campus where there are in-house physicians, doctors and nurses, so you can get free medical consultation and medicine if you needed to. And there's also a counseling center on campus with in-house counselors and psychologists if you needed that kind of service. And it's all free of charge. Campus life, in terms of sports, we have a Olympic-sized swimming pool, badminton courts, squash courts. There are a few track and fields for students who are into running, basketball courts, and lots of tennis courts. A lot of these facilities are all available to students, exchange students as well. And there are also sports teams that exchange students can join as well. We have a very strong rowing team, especially because we have the harbor right by the campus. So students are able to join these teams. We have a few international students here this semester who are on the rowing team already, and they're doing competitions in December. So you're able to participate in all these sports. The campus itself is really a self-contained community where if you don't want to go outside, you can. It's all sustainable. We have over 30 canteens and restaurants on campus serving different types of foods for different dietary needs. So there's a supermarket on campus, there are banks on campus, also a bookstore, and the entire campus is covered by Wi-Fi. Next. And a little more about my office. We are sort of a one-stop shop for exchange students. So we process your application, your student visa, we process your course registration, we help you with your on-campus housing, and then during the semester, when you have questions, you come to us. You have questions about exams, travels, any type of questions, transcripts after you leave, your deposit refunds, everything all the questions you have, you can come to us. We're sort of the one-stop shop, and you don't have to go to different departments to get help. As I mentioned, Alex is our student advisor for students from the US, so he will be your main point of contact. Next, please. For the regular term time program, which is one of the programs that is offered through UCEAP office, you can select courses across all of these disciplines faculties that I've listed here. So arts, business, engineering, law, restricted, science, social science, and Chinese language, Putonghua Mandarin, or Cantonese. All of these courses are available to exchange students, with a few exceptions where those courses may be reserved only for local degree-seeking students. A typical course load for UCEAP students and also CUHK students is roughly 5 CUHK courses, which is equivalent to about 22.5 quarter units or 15 semester UC units. Because 3 CUHK units, it's equivalent to 4.5 UC units. So that's a typical course load for an international students. It would allow you sort of enough time to concentrate on your academics as well as time to explore the city. So this is kind of the load that we recommend. Any more than this would be a little too heavy, and you may not have time to sort of explore what CUHK and what the Hong Kong has to offer. And also Chinese language courses are open to exchange students. You can take a maximum of 6 CUHK credits, which is equivalent to 2 courses. Next, please. And we also offer 2 summer programs for UC students. One is the CUHK International Summer School, the July session. So as the name implies, it runs in July. It's a 5-week program from late June till early August, so throughout the month of July. The program typically attracts about 600 local and international students to the university and study for that 5 weeks. The courses offered change slightly every year, but it's really across pretty much all disciplines, including business and finance, Chinese studies, Chinese language. We have engineering and environmental studies, and also social sciences courses. Usually in the summer, we offer about 20 courses for students to take. And on top of the academics portion of the program, there are also immersive cultural activities that engage students with local students to understand the Chinese and Hong Kong culture. The second program is a summer undergraduate research program. This is an 8-week program, roughly starting at about the same time, the end of June, but this runs for a little longer, so it runs until mid-August. We offer about 100 research topics, and students would apply directly to these research topics, and they will be admitted by the research professor into their labs and do research. It's quite an intensive commitment because it is sort of a full-time job where you would be expected to be in the lab or engage with research from say 9 to 5 on the day, or other schedules as negotiated with your research professor, and you actually get credits as well. You get a transcript at the end of the program, and you get 3 credits, whereas in the international summer school, you can get a maximum of 6 credits. Both of these are very popular programs. The summer undergraduate research program does have a limit to the number of students we can accept into this program. It's usually about 110 students for each summer. So when students ask, we always mention for the summer undergraduate research program, apply early. In order to guarantee a spot for the summer school as well, because the very popular courses get filled up very quickly. So try and submit your application as soon as possible. How many units for the CERP? It's 3 units. So 3 CUHK units is equivalent to 4.5 UC units. Okay, so moving on. Any opportunities for additional units? Unfortunately, no. It's a set unit, so it's only 3. Okay, so cultural activities are, as mentioned, are available for the summer programs, as well as for term time as well. So some of them include Hong Kong city tours. There are different types of gatherings, visits to companies, and various, this is one for the Legislative Council. There are excursions around Hong Kong. There are different Chinese cultural immersion classes like calligraphy classes or Chinese engraving seal classes. And then service learning programs where we take students to teach, engage students to teach English at local high schools and primaries and secondary schools as well. Can you take classes with the research program? Because the research program is so intensive, it kind of clashes with the time for the classes. So it really depends on how you work out your timetable with the research program. Usually it's a no, but if timing does work, we could explore that option. But in the past, it hasn't worked out. Okay, so moving on. More cultural classes, cultural activities, cooking classes, hikes around Hong Kong, and martial arts classes, visit to the Big Buddha. So there are tons of cultural activities to fill up your time outside of the classroom, so you can immerse yourself in the local culture. Next, please. Okay, sure. And I believe that's the end of my presentation. So I'll pass the time over to UCEAP now to go over the next couple of slides.
Yes, so just quickly before we move on to Q&A, I want to just quickly go over some program information about UCEAP specifically. Our programs are designed specifically for UC students with hundreds of options available. You will find the perfect study abroad program to suit your needs. While on UCEAP, you remained enrolled in your UC campus, which means you do not need to take a leave of absence during your study abroad program, and your UC financial aid goes with you. Additionally, you are guaranteed that all the courses you take abroad will receive UC credit. So here are the eligibility requirements requirements for each of the programs that Louis just talked about. So if you're interested in the summer school option or the Hong Kong summer option, you need at least a 2.5 GPA and sophomore standing in order to be eligible for that program. For the Research in Hong Kong program, you need to have at least a 2.85 GPA and junior standing to be eligible for this option. And then if you're interested in going for the fall, spring, or year, you need to have at least a 3.0 GPA and sophomore standing to be eligible to apply. So we hope this presentation has provided you with a starting point on your study abroad journey and encourage you to explore the UCEAP website for detailed information about program options, finances, health and safety, and more. You should also visit your Campus Study Abroad office website or the How to Apply section of any program page on the UCEAP website for information on application steps and deadlines. Contact information for campus offices is also available through the QR code on this slide. We offer office hours where you can schedule an appointment to have a video call with a UCEAP advisor to talk about our programs in more detail. You will also find a link to make an office hours appointment through the QR code on this slide. Once you have determined which program you are going to apply to, you can start an application by selecting the Apply Now button on the UCEAP website. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Our general email is on this slide. Thanks again for attending this session. We will now move on to Q&A. Please send us your questions in the chat box.